You ever get that feeling that the internet, social media, online banking, all of it is just broken? Like it's not really working for us, but maybe against us? Well, what if it's broken by design? Today, we're going to tear down the architecture of our digital world and explore a totally different way to build it.
So let's just ask it straight up. Is the very foundation of our entire digital world fundamentally broken? And look, a growing number of really smart developers and thinkers are saying, yeah, absolutely. And this isn't some abstract tech problem. It's at the root of some of the biggest, most urgent issues we're all dealing with right now.
So where did it all go wrong? Well, it really boils down to one single, massive decision made decades ago: centralization. Think about it. Pretty much everything you do online, every message, every purchase, every post, it all funnels through a giant central server owned by some massive corporation. And now we're really starting to see the consequences of that choice.
And this is what that looks like in the real world. Surveillance capitalism? That's the whole business model of the internet, isn't it? You're not the customer, your data is the product. Digital feudalism. I love that term. It perfectly describes how you don't actually own anything on social media. You're just a tenant on their digital land. And all our data gets piled up in these giant honeypots, which of course are just begging to be hacked. Then you have these single points of failure. One Amazon server goes down, poof, a huge chunk of the internet is gone. And the endgame for all of this, well, it's pretty scary. It's the AI surveillance state, fueled by all that data they've been collecting on us for years. And this quote, this just nails it. We are forced to trade our ownership, our control over our own digital lives, just for the privilege of using their platform. It's a raw deal. We're basically digital serfs. And it's not just about privacy, It's about how this system kills creativity and puts way, way too much power into the hands of a tiny number of companies.
Okay, so if centralization is the disease, what's the cure? Well, it's not about just tweaking the old system. You can't just build a nicer Facebook. No, we need to throw the whole blueprint out the window. We're talking about a complete paradigm shift, a radically different approach for how our digital world should work.
And here it is. This is the big idea. It's called agent-centric architecture. So instead of your data being locked away on some Google server farm, imagine it lives with you, on your phone, on your computer. It's like having your own private, tamper-proof journal. Every single thing you do is an entry that only you can write, and it's sealed with your own cryptographic signature. You are the agent. You are at the center. It's the difference between renting an apartment and actually owning your own home.
Okay, I know what some of you are thinking. Wait a minute, isn't this just blockchain? And that's a fair question, but the answer is a big resounding no. Let's break this down. Traditional blockchains are data-centric. The whole network has to agree on one single massive truth, this giant, slow, clunky ledger. Holochain is agent-centric. It works more like a natural system. You only care about the data that's relevant to you and the people you're interacting with. Think of it this way. Blockchain is like having a global town meeting for every single decision, no matter how small. Holochain is like just having a normal conversation. The result? It scales better, uses a tiny fraction of the energy, and is just way more efficient.
So let's just boil it down to the absolute core shift. We're moving from this clunky, expensive, global consensus model where everybody has to agree on everything all the time to this elegant, local validation model. It's the difference between a rigid, brittle crystal and a living, breathing ecosystem. You still get that rock-solid data integrity, but you get it without a central boss or a ridiculously expensive global vote.
Okay, so what does this all mean in the real world? What do we actually get out of this new architecture? Well, it boils down to three huge, game-changing benefits: resilience, security, and an absolutely mind-blowing level of efficiency.
All right, let's do a little thought experiment. What happens when the internet goes out? Or when your bank service crashes? Everything just stops, right? You're locked out of your money. You can't communicate. The whole system is incredibly fragile. But what if there was a better way?
This right here is one of Holochain's superpowers. It works offline. Because the app's rules and your data live on your device, not on some distant server, you can keep right on using it. Make a payment, write a message, whatever. Then, the next time you connect, your device just syncs up with everyone else and they validate what you did. This is true resilience. It's a game changer for everything from disaster relief to just living in a place with spotty internet.
But wait a second. If there's no central server and no big global blockchain, what stops people from cheating the system? How do you get security? Well, the approach here is just beautiful. Instead of building a huge fortress, Holochain acts more like a biological immune system. It teaches the network how to spot bad actors and reject them on its own.
So here's how this immune system actually works. Everything you do is cryptographically signed by you. When you share that action with your peers, their devices automatically check it against the rules of the app. Let's say you try to spend the same money twice. Their devices will immediately see that's a violation, and then they gossip about it. They share proof of your bad behavior with others. Pretty soon, the whole network just learns to ignore you. You're walled off. It's a really elegant bottom-up security model that relies on peer-to-peer accountability.
And then there's efficiency. Honestly, this chart says it all. You've got the absurd planet-burning energy waste of old-school blockchains over here, and then you have Holochain way over there. It's not even in the same league. We're not talking a small improvement. It's a completely different reality. We're talking rocket ship versus bicycle.
Yeah, 99.9% more energy efficient. Just let that number sit with you for a second. And the reason is simple. It gets rid of all that pointless, redundant work that global consensus forces a network to do. It's a huge deal, especially now, when we're all looking for real answers to tech's massive carbon footprint.
So, let's recap. We've got a system that's resilient, secure, and ridiculously efficient. But this is where it gets really exciting. Because this isn't just about making faster, cooler apps. This is about giving us entirely new tools to build a better society. It changes how we can organize, how we can create value, how we can work together.
Think of this as a toolkit for digital sovereignty. We're talking about true self-sovereign identity, where you, not Facebook, not the government, control your ID. You hold your own credentials, your own degrees, your own qualifications. And maybe the most powerful tool in the box is this idea of sovereign accountable commons. Basically, you can build your own social network, your own marketplace with your own rules and your own values coded right in. It's about designing our digital spaces to finally reflect who we are.
And it goes even deeper, right into the DNA of our economy. Right now, our entire economic system is built on an accounting system that only sees one thing: profit. It's completely blind to community health or environmental impact. But new frameworks, like one called HREA that runs on Holochain, let us see the whole picture. You can actually account for financial value, social value, and ecological value, all in the same system. This is a huge step toward creating economies that are actually regenerative, not just extractive.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room: artificial intelligence. The path we're on right now is, frankly, terrifying. We're shoveling all our personal data into these giant corporate black boxes to train AIs we don't understand and can't control. It's a one-way ticket to a surveillance nightmare. But there is another path. A path where our data stays with us on our devices and where AI actions are actually transparent and verifiable.
This opens the door for a whole new kind of AI. We can use techniques like federated learning, which is a fancy way of saying we can train AI models without them ever seeing your raw data. Your privacy stays intact. We can build AI that is actually accountable for its actions because every decision is signed and can be audited. This gives us local, community-focused intelligence that serves us, instead of one giant, all-powerful AI that controls us. So when you put all these pieces together, the resilience, the incredible efficiency, the new tools for society, a saner path for AI, you start to see that this is so much bigger than just another tech product. This is a blueprint, a potential roadmap for tackling some of the biggest challenges we face and building a future that actually works for everyone. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. Let's make it real. Take environmental solutions. Right now, today, Holochain is a crazy efficient alternative to energy-hogging blockchains. In the near future, you can use it to create verifiable, fraud-proof carbon credits that could actually put a stop to corporate greenwashing. And looking a little further out, its resilience makes it perfect for building local, peer-to-peer energy grids, letting communities share power directly. It's a real, tangible path. So if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. Holochain is not just a faster blockchain. It's not a faster horse. It's a car. It is a completely different way of doing things. It's that fundamental shift away from a data-centric web where we are the product to an agent-centric web where we are in control. Because at the end of the day, the technology we build is the society we build. And that leaves us with a really big choice to make, doesn't it? Are we going to keep going down this same old path of centralization towards a future of more control and more surveillance? Or are we going to be brave enough to choose a different path, to build a future based on distributed, shared agency? That's the question on the table. And the choice, really, is up to us.